there are very few certain things in life, and I think I may have actually found one of those. And the idea is that I almost guarantee that everybody in some time has either had their picture taken by or have used a disposable 35 millimeter film camera. These things used to be everywhere. You could buy them at gas stations and retail, drugstores, and they were really a big part of our lives, probably in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, really before cell phones and digital cameras really became a thing. And I would argue that for a lot of people, they were kind of a gateway and really enabled them to get their foot into photography. And for a lot of families, it was the only way to capture memories. If you remember that the old Kodak Brownie camera, probably the best example of the very earliest making photography available to the masses. Later on, the Polaroid instant cameras, I have one behind me, they've become popular again. But if you think about both of those, a problem with those concepts, just like a lot of other photography, is you have to actually buy or have the camera in the first place. And then, of course, with those, you had to purchase and buy film, and then have it processed later on. So it was still a challenge, I'm sure, for many. But when the disposable cameras came along, again, it really opened up the world for a lot, probably billions and billions of memories being made with these. So today we have a modern twist on that original concept. So what I have here is the FlashBack 135 digital camera, and that's the big difference. Unlike it does not have film in it, but it is a near perfect replica of the original disposable 35 millimeter cameras. It feels the same. It has almost all of the exact same functions. It even has that traditional ratcheting, the film advance wheel that you would crank over to get ready for the next shot. The weight and feel, the body is nearly identical. So they've done a great job in recreating that feel. So what's the difference between that and just picking up a disposable camera? So the way the FlashBack 135 concept works, once you've purchased the camera, and I bought this with my own money, it cost $115 with the carrying case included. That's actually pretty nice. I think it's just over $100 if you just buy the camera itself. And so in there you get the camera, the carrying case, a USB-C charging cable. You have to know that the memory is sealed inside, the battery is sealed inside. The battery, of course, is rechargeable, and it stores all of the photos, I almost said film, internally. So you don't have to worry about micro SD cards or anything like that. So let me tell you about the concept of how the FlashBack 135 works. So once you purchase the camera, take it out of the box, and inside the box you get the camera itself, the carrying case if you opt for that bundle, a USB-C charging cable, and that's about it. Now you don't have to worry about flash cards, SD cards, especially the micro SD ones. The memory in here is sealed inside. I have no idea what the capacity is, and you'll understand that in a little bit. And the battery is sealed inside, and you just recharge it with that simple USB-C charging cable. No power adapters included, but those are becoming almost everywhere with our phones and other devices. So you download the application. It's for Android or iOS. I used it on my iPhone, so I have no experience with the Android, but I'm certain it's probably nearly the same. And then you create an account. My spidey sense didn't go off when I created that account, although I'm certain that they're using these images to help train some model somewhere. But again, nothing too egregious when setting up the account. So once you have the app loaded, you connect via Bluetooth to the camera, and then later to Wi-Fi to speed up the process, but the initial linkage is through Bluetooth. Now here's where the process starts to really feel like you're using a 35 millimeter disposable. First thing you have to do is select a film. It comes with 3 different film stocks. Probably one that would be best described as a Kodak Gold, very rich saturation, very relatively high contrast. The other one is called FlashBack Beta, much more muted colors and less contrast, more of a pastel, more of a retro look to those. And then the third one is a black and white, very contrasty, very grainy, works very well for at night as well. So you load, and I keep using film camera terminology because it really fits here. So now you load one of those 3 film stocks into the camera, basically you select it, and it transfers it to the camera, and then you're ready to go. You get 27 shots per roll, and then once you've taken those 27 shots, then you again go back to the application, you unload the film, you download the unprocessed, undeveloped photos back into the application. Now here's where it gets a little different, and this is where I think most people will think it's interesting at first. I still do think it's interesting, but it was a little frustrating at times. So just like a real film camera, now you have to send that film off to be developed to get your photos back. So it gets uploaded to their servers, and then you wait at least 24 hours. I had one roll that took 36 hours. I'm not really sure. Again, they may be recreating that where you thought you dropped it off on Monday, you're going to be able to pick it up on Tuesday, but something happened and you had to come back. But then once it's ready, you get a notification, and then you can download those photos and view them in the app, and more importantly, save them to your camera rolls so you can share them from there. So the photos are just like you'd expect, and they look a lot like the originals. Will get very slow, and so out of focus, blurry photos are kind of to be expected in anything other than bright conditions. Now, the shape of the body, one issue, I got it a couple of times, again, recreates the conditions. I have a couple with my finger over the lens. That's to be expected. Now, they could have maybe, put a couple, 2 or 3 more millimeters in there to help prevent that. It wasn't a big deal. Just something I noticed, and it actually made me remember, and that used to happen all the time. It does have a flash in it, and when it goes off, it is like looking into the sun. I think it has some standard settings for flash. Anything within 3-4 feet will be way overexposed, and it doesn't have much more reach than that. But that's fine, and it works. And again, it's very, very similar to the originals. The photos, and I'll show several through here from a recent trip we took back to San Diego. In bright conditions, good light, it worked great. Less ideal conditions. We had a good cloudy day one day, and then at night, you really have to be careful, with steadying the camera. But here's the thing: the company talks about a concept of living more in the moment and not worrying so much about capturing the perfect image. And it really actually achieves that. Where during the trip, I only took this camera for stills, and left all my other gear behind. And it did allow me to be more in the moment with my wife as we walked around beautiful San Diego, because I wasn't trying to capture that perfect shot. And I definitely wasn't trying to recreate, hey, I think I had, a little underexposed on that, let's take that again. It was more just take a picture and keep moving and enjoy the time together. So I think it does meet the company's intention there. Other than that, as long as you understand that you're not getting, a Sony, Canon, Nikon level, you're not getting iPhone level, modern camera level images. It's really meant for just fun snaps with family, friends, and interesting, maybe street photography. It might work great for that as well. But I think they did a great job. I'll show a few more photos as we roll out of this video, but again, I think I would recommend it just at a minimum for the nostalgia of it, but it's also for that idea of living more in the moment. Thank you.